Welcome back. Now continue our discussion about the methods. We will discuss in this lecture parameters and return types. Here is the small little app that we have developed in the last lecture, which displays these three different messages when it performs an add operation. What if I wanted to actually do the add operation in a separate function? I can simply come in here and create a new function called static void perform. I will call it perform add operation. You can go ahead and name it whatever you want, but make it meaningful. Now, one note here that all of these variables inside the main are not visible in here. They are only visible in this method. So if I wanted to use the add result, you see, Visual Studio, inside of this method here is not allowing me. It doesn't even see it. With the A, P, C, or even D, they are not visible. So how can we solve this issue? We can, for now, we can go ahead and define our own int result. Now we have a variable that will hold the addition, the value of the addition operation. Now, one important thing that we can do, that we can pass a parameter from this function in here to this function in here. And in this function, I will come here in the declaration and tell it that you will be receiving an int variable called a and an variable called b. And remember from the signature of the method that the data type is the important, the name is not. I can call it x or t or whatever I want. I will call it x and y. Now the x and y, I will pass the a and b, or the two numbers, or the c and d, whatever number I want in the x and y. And I will do the operation. Actually, let's come in here and take this operation. And go ahead, place it. I will call it now not the c and d, the x and y, which is defined in here. And now let's go ahead and tell it that the x and y, and now we have a function now that takes two integers and add them and display a message for this. We can come in here now. Let's go ahead and remove the message, remove the add operation from here, and again remove the add operation, the message, everything. Now we only left in the main function with the declaration and the assignment of these variables. Now we can just go ahead and tell it to perform add operation. You see now we have two functions. The Visual Studio sees them, display message, and perform add operations. Let's go ahead and tell it that the first one would be the A and B. Now the A will be assigned to X and the B will be assigned to Y. And in here, let's go ahead and tell it again, perform add operation C and D. And again, the C will be assigned to X and D will be assigned to Y. Let's run this and see what the output will be. Now you see it's working like before. We have the function here doing the job for us with one line, no repetition. We have maintained the dry concept here, but actually there is no message displaying. The three message is not displayed. So I can just come here, you see, inside this function and tell it that call the function that's called display message. You see? Now let's run this and wow, works like magic. Now we have made the function to do the add operation and the function or a method to display the messages for us. This is very powerful actually. So one last thing, what if I wanted, now I have this method here, the main, passing some values or variables to this method. What if I wanted the perform add operation to get something back to the main, to return something, to return the result, for example? I can do this very easily. So I will come in here and tell it that, let's stop this actually. Let's comment this for a while. Comment this for a while. I don't want it to run. In here, I will go ahead and change this void. Void means that this function does not return anything. As you can see, it doesn't return anything. It declared a variable, made some operation, displayed the line, and called another function. There is no return in here. This what void means. So if I would like to return something, in our case here, it would be an integer, it would be an addition. I would come here and change this void to int. Now this is an int method, you see, but it's giving me an error, as you can see here. Not all code passes return a value because it needs to return something. So I can come here and this is a new keyword called return. I can return the add result, as you can see here. Now this is a new function and it's an int method. Actually, functions and methods are the same, so don't get confused. And now it do some operations and it returns it. So I will change it a little. So I will not display it in here. I will display it. So this message actually, this function actually doesn't display it. Just do the add operation. And in here, after the message, I'll be displaying the result. But the result actually, I will assign the input or the return from this function into the add result. So whatever is returned from here will be assigned to the add result in here. Can you get it? And let's go back and tell it the A and B again. Okay, and let's again do this in here, and it would be from the add for the X, for the C and D, change it to the D and C again. Now let's go ahead and run this. See, now it's working again in a different techniques, but the message is not displayed. Let's go ahead and we can again display it in here, and again display it in here. Now let's go ahead and run this, and it's working as before. So I hope this was easy. This is how we can pass arguments or parameters to a specific function, and this is how we can return something to the calling method in here, which is main in our case. So I hope this was easy and fun. See you in the next lectures.